Welcome back, guys, and I hope everybody has got over the disappointing defeat to Tottenham in the Carabao Cup final in the last episode there. I still can't believe we lost to a mid-table team, but nevertheless, we move on. Bigger and better trophies to win. And as you can see, since then, I did say I would come back for the last 16 leg if I felt like it was worth coming back for. And to be honest, it wasn't. It was the first leg was rather tough. Obviously, a bit toe to toe there. We had to claw ourselves back. But in the second leg, we did make sure we went through clear there. And there is another reason why I haven't brought you guys the quarterfinal, the round of 16, sorry. It is because we do have a much more interesting tie that we have played in the we have since played it, but we're going to go over the highlights. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what happened in those games. But since the Tottenham defeat, we, as you can see, we've gone on an absolute roll. We're taking our anger out on everybody else, including FA Cup quarter-final victory, which I do believe we do have Arsenal in the semi-final there. So again, another trophy potentially to add to the list of the 3 seasons it's took for me to rebuild this team back to the Man United standard we all expect of 10, 15 years ago now. But yeah, as you can see, a 3-3 draw and a 2-0 win. But let's have a look at what happened in our quarter-final, which we did get drawn against Tottenham. So it really was a case of, was it repeat or revenge? Were Tottenham going to, again, beat us when it mattered? Or were we going to finally beat them and make it sweet? Hopefully, ever so sweet. See, there we have in the first half. In the first leg, we were at home against Manchester United. Here we're just going to go through the highlights of what we've been up to. Heung-min Son gets a good chance, but luckily for us, he does go on and miss it there. It is followed up again by some early Tottenham dominance. And I was a bit worried at this point. I was a little bit worried. It wasn't the best of starts for us. We were obviously 1-0 down already. They do come with a chance here. They have retained the ball well, trying to break us down. Son is absolutely having too much space there. Luckily for once, that run through the middle was blocked. We all know what happened the last 2 times they tried to make a run through the middle. We just opened it up and let them go through. It was our turn to finally get a chance, and Rashford comes in there. And just like that, we are at 1-1. And a mistake there as well, again by Martinez. Luckily, Son couldn't take advantage of it, thank God. It was followed by a corner again. As I said, it was very much dominated by Spurs, which was rather worrying. I was hoping, we would do a bit better than that. As you guys have noticed, I think we've had one highlight in the first half so far, and that was, in fact, the goal. Good highlight, but nevertheless, Spurs very much in control of the game, unfortunately. We then had a rare highlight for ourselves there. Up in their half, very much they dominated. Obviously, putting the crossing the ball in there. We do keep the ball alive. Tchouaméni keeping it in there. Unfortunately, nothing came of it. He was, in fact, off. Tottenham are, in fact, coming in here. We do manage to nick the ball back, hoping we can create a chance there. Garnacho into Fernandes. Can Fernandes do anything? Garnacho being a superstar this season. Can Van der Sar put a good cross in? And Mount goes, and from the middle of the penalty area, puts in the bottom left-hand corner. And for the first time in a long time, we're leading Spurs in the game. Shame we couldn't be like this in the cup final. We got another chance in there. Garnacho comes in. Can Van der Sar do something with that? Fantastic goal by Konate there, sorry. And it was an offside flag there as well. I know you guys can't see the pictures. I'm watching this through the view match. But what a great way to respond straight after. Put it to the right hand side in the free kick, and Rashford bounces it straight in the top corner there. So the first game at Old Trafford ended as a 3-1 victory. There was no more highlights really after our third goal there. As I said, we did take a 3-1 victory into the second leg. Hopefully we get a little bit more domination within the game as well. Garnacho there looking very, very well as well. As usual. A good chance. Well, I say a good chance of wasting. It was followed up similar by another highlight. We were sloppy on the ball again. Obviously, Spurs were looking to threaten, it appears. We do manage to nick it back. Shaw does well doing that. He then passes it to Rashford, who again, very sloppy, we're losing the ball there. Phillips there. Basuma makes a mistake, and Konate, for once, it wasn't one of our defenders making the mistake there. Basuma makes the mistake, puts it straight into the path of Konate. Not Højlund. Konate has sort of been playing well. Not Konate, and then we go and score there. We do very much seem like on top. So on aggregate, obviously we are now 4-1 up. Surely this game is done with now. Rashford with a great run. Can Fernandes do something? Oof. I mean, another goal would really, really be helpful about now. I mean, a throw goal difference is good. It's Spurs' turn to do something about it, apparently. Although we have just gone and nicked the ball. And again, sloppy passing. It's not even sloppy passing. It feels lazy. Just run with the ball and just giving it away. There's not a lot of urgency from Spurs, considering they're 4-1 down. They are coming here, though. Kulusevski. Son get a chance there. Kulusevski in there. Emerson Royale. Oof. I think we're a bit fortunate there if that deflection goes wrong. Not too sure what he's doing there. Spurs come again. Maddison in too much space there. Ooh, that would have been very interesting. Garnacho now with the ball again, losing the ball. Sloppy passes. Not looking at where we're going. Spurs have now countered us again after mistakes of our own. We're way too sloppy with these mistakes. Can Basuma do something? No, thank God for that. The only benefit is, considering we're very much like defensively, we like to give the ball away rather too comfortably. It appears that the Spurs today haven't turned up and scored. So it's very definitely not the same Spurs that we did play in the cup final, which is typical because winning the cup final is better than a quarter final. But it is the Champions League. I think I'd much rather win the Champions League than a Carabao Cup. Ooh, can't always. Well, Anani usually comes out a little bit more, so thank God he actually stayed on his line for a change. Highlight for us for a change, we are still in the game. And a nice, slightly deflected goal, I believe, for Bruno Fernandes. That does see the game at 5-1. And surely now, that's got to be the end of it now. We do skip through. We are in the second half now. As I said, we have got that 5-1 lead. Eventually, as a 5-1 lead on aggregate, surely we're pretty comfortable now. But Konate goes straight. Well, I say it's route one. Passing, as this vertical tiki-taka. Straight, pass, through the middle. Konate with his pace puts the ball in there. Very much, it's got to be the end of it there now, surely. 6-1 up on aggregate. So it's very much looking like it's going to be revenge over repeat, which in the Champions League, again, that is not ideal. That is not ideal. That would just bring it. I know it's 5-5, 6-2. I think it was at this point. And you always worry that once we concede one, we implode here. We do have another chance here with Fernandes. Surely now, that makes it 7-2. And that game is put to bed. Very much so there. So as you guys did see, I do apologise, it might be a bit jagged with the highlights there. I've obviously gone for a different highlights approach just on this episode. So as you guys saw there, a 7-2 aggregate victory over Spurs. So finally, after 2 seasons of not winning a single knockout group game, we do find ourselves in the semi-final of the Champions League. And as you guys have obviously probably seen on the schedule there, it only gets harder. It only gets harder. We've took out Juventus. We've got our revenge on Spurs. We now have a 2-legged tie against Barcelona to come up as well. That very much is going to be a very, very tough one. What teams do we have left in? Liverpool, Real Madrid, Man United and Barcelona. I mean, I'm not too sure we're going to win this tournament. It's a testament, considering we did beat Real Madrid, I believe, in our first group stage. So it's not like they aren't beatable, and I think we have beaten Liverpool this season. So we're very much in it. The fact that we're in the semi-final of a Champions League just shows massive improvement. We finally won some knockout games. We've won the Premier League. We've won the FA Cup, I believe. We haven't won the Carabao Cup, and looks like we're not going to, as will be the last season of this rebuild. As I believe if you're in the semi-final of a Champions League, if you've won multiple Premier Leagues, an FA Cup, potentially a second FA Cup, I think that makes you well established to be very much amongst it with the elite again. But we find ourselves in a Champions League semi-final again, and I'll repeat this a couple of times. We do, in fact, win a European tie. We've won 3 now, 2 obviously with the draw against Juventus. We finally got our revenge on Spurs. You can have your Carabao Cup. We're going to have our Champions League instead. Depending on what happens in the next few games, I might come back at the end of the season where we'll conclude how we got on in the Champions League and obviously the FA Cup, what happened to the Premier League. I mean, for all the focus being on the Champions League, we are still top of the Premier League somehow. I'm not too sure how. I've got to say the other teams must be pretty poor. Tottenham there with their bloody... They're down in 12th place now. They're down in 12th place. But nevertheless, we got ourselves a bit of revenge there. But guys, as I said, we'll see where we end up in the next few games as to when we come back. If not, I'll see you at the end of the season so we can conclude how we've rebuilt this Manchester United team to be back amongst the elite, Premier League winning, Champions League competing, domestic cup winning, but all the scraps in between. We're very much a team that consistently now, if you look in there, consistently perform against good teams, beating the likes of Real Madrid, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal. We did play Barcelona as well as a 1-1 draw, so nothing really much to show there. But enough of me waffling, guys. You guys know the drill. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Like the episode. Comment down below. A couple of episodes, we're probably going to move on to another rebuild or some other videos. So let me know what you thought of this series. Any feedback would be appreciated. Muchly appreciated. And also, thank you for your patience with how I've played this episode down. We're breaking it down into those little highlights there. I hope you guys don't mind that. And don't forget, guys, I'll see you in the next one.